Stalker 2 is amazing, but there are problems. The game has a lot of bugs, which isn't exactly surprising. It's very much in line with what we saw in the original games. The good news is that the developers aren't sitting idle. They're already hard at work on patches. Today they shared new details about a major patch that's coming very soon, one that promises to fix a lot of issues, and there's plenty to fix. For example, the most frustrating bug I've encountered so far was during a story battle. I entered a room and suddenly all the doors locked behind me. There was no way out. None. I was trapped, and my save file was ruined. But enough about that. Let's dive into what the developers are saying about this upcoming patch. In this video, we'll cover locations where the current bugs can block your progress, how a modder is improving the A-Life system and whether that system is even working as intended, the official announcement from the developers about what's coming next. Oh, and if you missed yesterday's video on secrets and Easter eggs in Stalker 2, I highly recommend checking it out. There's a ton of cool stuff in there. You can find it here in the corner. Now on to the biggest concern, warnings on Reddit about the game being literally unplayable. Many players who've reached the Clear Sky mission are reporting an increasing number of game-breaking bugs, issues that permanently block progression. For me, being locked in that room was directly tied to Clear Sky. And here's another critical heads up, don't start missions in Pripyat unless you're ready to commit to them completely. According to Reddit users, once you begin these missions, you won't be able to back out, and you'll lose access to the rest of the game's content. So if you want to explore the zone freely, avoid starting Pripyat missions for now. Here's one of the top Reddit comments about the Clear Sky bugs. This will likely get buried, but after a certain mission the game's bugs start to escalate exponentially as if no one playtested it beyond that point. I'm sure the few people who have made it that far know what I'm talking about. Towns will begin to get wiped off the map, as everyone there will die, because the missions to defend them are bugged. Audio logs become permanently unplayable. After about 40 hours, my game is now hard-locked from progressing as emissions cause it to crash with no workaround. Loading a save from 30 minutes prior and going anywhere else on the map will still end up crashing on the same emission. I can no longer play the game until there is, hopefully, a patch. The advice, if you get a mission to go to Clear Sky, hold off. Chill in the zone, explore, and wait for the patch before progressing. By the way, before we get to the official patch notes, don't forget to check out my other video. We found some crazy Stalker 2 secrets, including Sidorovich's balls and more. Definitely worth a look. Now let's talk about what the developers announced. In a post on Steam, the Stalker 2 Heart of Chernobyl team shared what the upcoming patch will address, along with plans for future updates. Here's what they had to say. The game has been out for a few days now. Still feels surreal to say that, and we've been closely monitoring your feedback across all platforms. Over 1 million stalkers are already in the zone, and we thank you for playing. It means the world to us. We're sure you've got plenty to do in the zone, but so do we. Here's a breakdown of the fixes coming with the first patch. Memory allocation issues during rendering and quest scenes will be resolved. Fixes for blocked progress. Characters getting stuck in objects, false markers, and cutscene glitches. Adjustments to main quest transitions to prevent progression blockers. Gameplay and balance. Upgrade effects on weapon and armor prices will work properly. NPC behavior during emissions will be fixed, especially when they fail to find cover. Cutscenes and effects, facial animation skips, misaligned NPCs, and visual bugs like floating heads and clothes will be addressed. Visual effects will be more stable and polished. Players couldn't exit the trade menu when loading the wrong ammo slot with a controller. That's getting fixed. Quest notifications will display correctly during dialogue. Missing text and interaction prompts will be added back. Future updates will tackle the A-Life system, which disappointed many players by feeling less dynamic than expected. Xbox controller dead zones and other critical issues are also on the list, but these fixes will take longer. The first patch is set to drop this week for both PC and Xbox. Sounds great, right? But here's the interesting news. Modders are already ahead of the developers, releasing their own fixes. Check out this footage from a mod that's already addressing many issues faster than the official patches. One stand-up modder, Linsanity, has released a beta version of the Roadside Panic mod, which focuses on improving the A-Life 2 mechanics. According to Linsanity, this is a temporary and experimental fix that players can use while waiting for GSC Game World's patch. Here's what the mod does. Restores the chaotic dynamism of gameplay from earlier Stalker games, drastically reduces the number of enemies spawning directly next to the player, reintroduces faction battles for control of key areas, expands A-Life's range so you can see and hear NPC interactions from farther away, kills, performance, giving players a true 2007 experience at 30 FPS. Linsanity explains that the system is incredibly complex but hampered by poor settings. For instance, the parameter that controls NPC spawn distances, a life grid vision radius, is set too low. This makes the open world feel empty, with no NPCs interacting dynamically. By increasing this parameter, the mod restores more activity and fixes enemy spawns. So, what do you think? Have you encountered any game-breaking bugs, or has your experience been smooth so far? Let me know in the comments. This is Puzzles, waiting for the patch, and I'll see you in the next video.
Know you're here somewhere. Target lost. How do you spend? Something's wrong.